Hello, and up for sale today we've got our very first Land Rover 110 Tithonus. This is a 1986 Land Rover 110. It has been legally imported. It's a UK import, so it's right-hand drive. It's now located here in Michigan and comes with a clean, clear Michigan title. So let me walk you around the vehicle. I'll show you the inside, the outside, the underside, and we'll go for a test ride. So starting off here at the front, we got our typical military front end. Nothing's been upgraded. Stock lights and signals and bumper. We got the tow hitch here in the front as well. Standard grille, radiator, intercooler look good. This is the 200 TDI 4-cylinder turbo diesel. Turbo looks good. The old Garrett. Cylinder head looks brand new. That's a good deal. Engine runs good. No oil leaking out of the valve covers or any fuel coming out of the lines or anything like that. Engine looks very clean. There's your timing belt cover. Looks like a new gasket on there as well. Injection pump looks good. Footwells, pretty decent shape. The bulkhead, engine side looks good. The bottom of the bonnet, the inside of the bonnet looks great. I don't see any rust in there. That's super untypical. We've got checker plate here on the wings, some antenna mountings here as well. This used to be a fitted for radio truck, so it did have antennas at one point. We do have a full roll cage inside and out. This roll cage pivots here at the front, and then you unbolt it, flip it forward, and then you can take the hard top off and have a full roll cage convertible, which would be pretty sweet in the summer. So tires, we got the famous Michelin XZLs 16 by 7.5s. These are great off-road tires, super durable, best tire money can buy, Michelin's. All right, the doors are in great shape as well. No corrosion or rust on the doors. And we do have these nice little snazzy aftermarket door cards. And the doors, they shut. Super nice. All right, moving on here. This is where the antennas were mounted at one point. We do have storage cubbies on both sides. Again, these are 16-inch Wolf wheels, which are standard for the military vehicles. There's a look at the rear chassis. A little bit of surface rust, but no patches there. Chassis looks great. There's your fuel cap. And it does have these hooks here. These are for a soft top. If you ever wanted to install a soft top, it's ready to go. And there's a look at the rear cross member. Pretty solid. Let's take a look at the back side while we're here. Yeah, rear cross member looks great. I actually don't see where it has been welded at all. That might be the original cross member. That's awesome. All right, in the back here, we've got shovel and pick attached to the rear door, and this is where it gets really cool. Folding bench seats in the back, and we've got seat belts as well. Full insulation kit on the interior. There's your roll cage, and there's a massive battery box here. You can fit 4 extra batteries in there, and another bench in the back, so you can sit 6 people back here pretty comfortably. Rear door is in pretty decent shape as well. Moving along, same story on the passenger side. Storage box, doors in pretty decent shape. And these are removable tops on the doors as well. And we do have this aftermarket seat box cover, a nice set of floor mats. There's your floorboards, and a little bit of rust there at the top of the footwells. We've got the LT77 5-speed map light. There's your light controls there. And the insulation kit goes all the way up here to the front as well. All right, and we do have a snorkel. And do not use this as a step. Full-size spare mounted on the bonnet. All right, let's go ahead and fire it up. Oh, we also have these larger military style side mirrors, which are awesome. Give you a pretty decent view out of the side. So we got 169,000 kilometers. So the speedometer's in kilometers, which means it wasn't used in the UK for military, it was used overseas, which is kind of cool as well. And it's got this little flip down tray for night mode or stealth mode. So we got our glow plug light and our battery light. There we go. So we got fuel gauge, temperature gauge, and oil pressure gauge. I don't think the oil pressure gauge is working, but the temperature gauge and fuel gauge are working. So 169,000 kilometers, which is roughly 105,000 miles, give or take. Okay, and now that we've got the bonnet down, let's take another closer look at the bulkhead. So the corners on the driver's side are pretty decent. Little bit of surface rust right there at the top by the windscreen, but all in all, pretty decent shape. And same story on the passenger side. Little bit of surface rust here. This could be ground down and painted, but it doesn't look like it's rusted all the way through or anything like that. Pretty decent shape for a 1986. A little bit of paint peeling right there, but all in all, pretty decent shape. Okay, here at the rear of the vehicle, we've got the drum brakes in the rear, the white diff cover with the old light there, military style for night vision. Muffler is new, that's good. Springs and shocks are not new, but they're doing their job. I don't hear anything rattling. They could eventually be replaced. They might be a little tired, but looks pretty tidy under there. There's a new ball joint on the A-frame, which is awesome. And the chassis rails look great. Yeah, I believe this is the original cross member. I don't see anywhere where it's been welded. It's in very good shape, actually. Okay, here on the driver's side, there's a good look at the front outriggers. Those are in good shape. Front radius arms, bushings look good. There's the bottom of the chassis. There's your center diff. Rear drive shaft, rear axle. And a new set of bushings on the rear control arms. And there's the center outrigger. So the military ones had a little bit beefier center outrigger, which is cool. Those look to be in great shape as well. And here on the passenger side, same story. Beautiful looking chassis. Different style of an outrigger. It's got more of a cover to it, but also heavier duty. There's the battery box, great shape. And there's a look at the center differential. Looks pretty decent. And bottom of the motor. And passenger side front outriggers. Okay, and lastly up front here, there's a look at the swivels. They look great. Looks like there's a new gasket there on the hub, so those have been done recently. Dust covers are in place. Looks like we got a new ball joint on the steering drop arm, which is good. There's a look at the bottom of the motor. It actually looks pretty clean. I don't see a lot of oil. I don't see any oil actually coming out of the bottom of the motor. And same story on the passenger side. Swivels look great. Tie rod end ball joints look great. Steering dampener, pretty decent under here. All right, so let's take her for a little jaunt around town. Parking brake is working. There's reverse. And first gear. Second gear. So not too much sound deadening here, so it's a little bit loud under here. for a military Defender. And you can fix that with some sound deadening material pretty easily. So, turn signals aren't working. Go this way. Oh, there's second gear. Third gear. No crunching at all in the gear changes. Everything seems pretty solid and tight. Brakes are nice and solid, no squeaking, no vibrating or shaking. You're pulling to the left or right. Suspension feels pretty solid as well. No vibrating or shaking out of the shocks or springs. Flip it around here. There's reverse. And first gear. Let's go through the gears one more time. No squeaking out of the power steering. Nice. Steering's nice and tight. I don't feel anything loose in the steering. Yeah, the only thing I can really fault this vehicle on is it's kind of loud in here. Well, that's about it, you know, and that's typical for a military Defender. They're just loud. But other than that, she's a solid unit.